Okay, it says I'm live. Oh, it's working now. Okay. Alrighty. Good morning. Okay. And going live on YouTube with dual stream is just so... There has to be a better way to say that. Scheduling streams just does not seem like a... I don't know. I guess Twitch just seems like you could just kind of start and you're good. YouTube just, there's a lot more friction. Yo, what's going on, Will? And my chat thing I'm using isn't working. And restart that. All right. I got a few gaming topics today that were fun. Actually, start with these. Why are they? Oh my gosh, I'm all over the place today. So my all. Okay, Jesus. Rough start this morning, rough start. I don't know why my chat isn't working. Actually, I'm gonna restart this. Master Labs. All right, got a pack stream actually. A lot of smaller topics. Did a deep dives yesterday. Spent a lot of time on just a few topics. Okay, we connected to YouTube chat. Settings. Okay, we're connected to Twitch. All right, hopefully good. All right, the CD Projekt Red Unreal Switch saga is continuing. Which is interesting because I do think it's interesting how we're kind of seeing a shift out of these more internal engines, and you know, these big gaming companies are kind of moving towards a more centralized engine market where they're kind of just everyone's moving towards Unreal, it seems like. Or yeah, I don't know, it just seems like Unreal's really gobbling up a lot of the market. And I think it's interesting. I mean, while I do think it is a good product and, you know, Epic's doing great on it, I do wonder how that is going to affect kind of the future of gaming, how there's going to be a lot of big gaming companies reliant on a single engine. Epic kind of has a lot of control when they, you know, if that's the case. And I don't know, I'm interested to see how it will influence kind of future AAA gaming. I guess though, I mean, realistically, it's kind of already been like that. Now that I'm thinking about it, like, I think we're top heavy and like most games have been made on probably like Unity, Unreal. Most games haven't been made on internal engines, but I guess I wonder, like, the more business side, what the like internal logistics look like when using kind of a third-party engine like this. I think it's great for like talent. I'm sure it's way easier to onboard people, which is, you know, relevant considering people's jobs sometimes don't last as long in the current gaming, you know, market. And so I'm sure it's easier to onboard people, and it's easier to hire people with more specific skills within the Unreal Engine, which I'm sure helps. And I do wonder if that affects pay at all, if actually it comes with a premium, or if it's actually, you know, at a you don't have to pay as much because it's more generalized. So Unreal documentation is so good. Yeah, Def saving a ton of time, money using their stuff over jank in-house engines. Dang, yeah. Wait, is are you guys switching? Is like to Unreal 2? I can't remember. Oh no, yeah, okay, yeah. But yeah, no, I think just outside of that, yeah, I'm sure. And I mean, yeah, because I guess if an internal engine, you're reliant on, like, you know, your technical writers or whatever internal documentation team you have, if any, to kind of do that stuff. Otherwise, it's like, yeah, the onboarding is like crazy. You can, okay, yeah. And that, see, that's why I'm surprised that we're getting someone like CD Projekt Red. Although I think an important distinction too is that these are single player games. I do wonder, you know, whereas like yeah, like Activision and such, most are, you know, I mean, their large games are multiplayer, and I think that probably adds a lot of complexity and more specifics because, you know, there's servers and things that you have to run on, and I'm sure there's specific software on there and things like that. So there's tech loss of the ages because the one dude who knew how to do it leaves or is laid off. Yeah, that's funny, and that's even outside of the gaming industry, that's becoming a trend too. In these kind of like because gaming is unique in that, like, yeah, there's specific technologies that are essentially only for gaming. In any kind of market that has that, it's like, yeah, you kind of like have these problems where it's like, if the dude retires and he's the only one who knew how to do it, it's like you're kind of shit out of luck unless he, you know, happens to share his secrets. Like, that's crazy. That's funny though. But okay, so CD Projekt Red's switch to Unreal wasn't motivated by Cyberpunk 2077's rough launch or a "this is so bad we need to switch" situation, says senior dev. Red Engine gone but not forgotten. But I assume that they're using this for the Witcher game. The new Witcher game, they're using a Unreal Engine. Attention. Oh. Interesting, they use like Lua scripting. Is this even what we're looking at? Okay, this is, I don't even know what this is. Here we go. CD Projekt Red. Def for Witcher, yeah. Cyberpunk 2077 uses Red Engine 4, which supported ray tracing. March 2022, CD Projekt Red announced partnership with Epic Games after retiring Red Engine to use Unreal 5. Yeah. Yeah, that is crazy. Like, and I'm sure, okay, like even outside of the onboarding, just the team you need to like maintain the engine, like I could totally see that there's like diminishing returns on that. It's like, yeah, because especially for single player games, like I understand large simulations like Cyberpunk, even Witcher, like I don't know how good Unreal is, but like, yeah, it's like if you're just making single player games, like, I mean, might as well just use one. Okay, let's get to the actual. Get the actual thing. What the heck is this website? You probably found this page because one of your subscribers uses MailChimp to send your email campaign, and you traced a link in the email back here to investigate. MailChimp is a marketing platform. Okay. Cool. I mean, I kind of like secret stuff like this, but you can see it's like a monkey. Anyways, okay. An interview with Eurogamer about CD Projekt Red's future, CDPR Vice President of Technology, Charles Tremblay, laid out some of the reasoning behind the company's surprise move to Unreal Engine 5 from its in-house Red Engine, and it has less to do with Cyberpunk 2077's challenging development and rough launch than you might think. I mean, to be fair, like I wouldn't even think that is a reason to switch. I mean, I guess I don't know. Like having like I'm sure I don't know. It's hard to say like if the engine actually had how much they had to do with that, but like I don't know. That doesn't necessarily mean, yeah. But anyways, the first thing I want to say, to be sure, 100% clear, is that the whole team, myself included, are extremely proud of the engine we built for Cyberpunk. Tremblay said to Eurogamer. So it's not about, this is so bad we need to switch and, you know, kill me now. That is not true. That is not true. This is not why we made the decision to switch. He really wants that to be known. He really wants that. Rather than a reaction to Cyberpunk's buggy launch and poor initial reception, Tremblay said that the move was meant to pave the way for simultaneous development of multiple games at CDPR. The studio's 3 in the can right now, which are 4, codenamed Polaris, which has just entered full production, Orion, the next Cyberpunk game, and an original IP codenamed Hadar. Love to see original IP. I didn't know they were working on that. And I do wonder if the next Cyberpunk game is multiplayer or not. Hadar. I wonder what this could be too. Does do they have, does Seed Project have any like online service games, or do they only essentially just doing single player games? Oh yeah, Gwent, is that still a thing? I was like, I guess, what are the chances that this new IP is single player? Just Gwent? Yeah, okay. What are the chances this is single player or multiplayer? The way we built stuff in the past was very one-sided, like one project at a time, Tremblay said. We pushed the limit, but also we saw that if we wanted to have multi-project at the same time, building in parallel, sharing technology together, it is not easy. Yeah, I do wonder if it's I think at the same time, while it's risky to work on multiple projects, I think it also de-risks it like does add some like risk aversion to the other games, because yeah, if one game doesn't work out, it's like, okay, like we're already in the works, like we're kind of continuing to move on this other one. We don't, you know, maybe we need to only like a little bit of runway to get this next game out that hopefully will, you know, make back some money. So I do think, especially a large studio, it's kind of important to have like some sort of like risk aversion, especially with like your engine like that. The idea was that we can push the technology, we can finally have all the technical people in the company working together on different projects, rather than super centralized into one technology that can very difficulty be shared between other projects. Be very difficult to share between other projects. Yeah, I mean, that's interesting too. So I wonder if to me makes it seem like that they're like they had to really tune the engine for the game they're working on. Or I guess they're saying that they all have to be working on the engine like within the same department, whereas now each team could kind of have their own like Unreal Engine kind of developer bro or chick that could kind of help them out. Maybe I don't know. I guess it seems like they might explain it here. It makes a lot of sense. A studio developing its own engine gets the freedom to customize the tools to its exact specifications, as well as the familiarity from having built them from scratch. The risk is that the studio has to expend significant resources for both initial development and any subsequent upkeeps and upgrades, something alluded to by Skyrim designer Bruce Nesmith when this conversation came up around Bethesda. If something goes wrong with the tech, there's no one else in the studio to turn to for help. That's also so true. It's like, yeah, bro, some shits the bed. It's like, it's not like you could go to Epic Games and be like, hey, what's going on? It's like, you got to figure that out yourself. That's so true. A third-party engine specifically frees up a developer's resource, outsourcing upkeep to the engine's licensor, in this case Epic, while also ensuring that there is external customer support in the event of major issues. The downside includes the potential one-size-fits-all nature of third-party tools, the startup cost of switching everything over, also mentioned by Nesmith, and the fact that Epic's own interest will inherently get top priority when it comes into the direction of Unreal's future. Yeah, but I mean, like, I actually think like Epic is kind of like Tim Sweeney, while he has big ambitions and visions, like I kind of feel like he does kind of like look out a bit for the industry. Like while Epic's interests are definitely gonna be like first priority, I don't think like Tim Sweeney's gonna like sabotage Unreal Engine like just to, you know, get some feature that they need in like Fortnite or some shit. Like I don't know. I think that it's pretty level headed, and when you have a lot of large like businesses like gaming shops using it, like you kind of have to put that aside a little bit, considering it's its own product. I don't know. I have a little confidence in Tim Sweeney. Epic CEO Tim Sweeney has made it clear that he still sees ubiquitous adoption of the Unreal Engine as a path to creating an interoperable metaverse of all projects built using the toolset. What? That came out of nowhere. But I guess that's just kind of Tim Sweeney's large vision, I guess. I don't know. Meanwhile, the first wave of third-party Unreal Engine 5 games have been a mixed bag on the technical side, with inconsistent performance overall and an epidemic of persistent stuttering issues on PC. That's interesting. Although I want to know, like, how much is that laziness on the developer's part, or like actual like something's wrong with the engine. But that could be said to where maybe it's not as clear as to like why that's happening on the developer's part from the engine, and so maybe there's some disconnect there. Some of the most impressive games of this generation were built using proprietary engines, particularly Alan Wake 2, which I argue is one of the best looking and graphically impressive games around. Really? BioWare's swan song on EA Dice's Frostbite engine. Frostbite engine, yeah, is still great. Like, it visually, it still holds up in my opinion. Dragon Age: The Veilguard looks great and runs well on a wide variety of hardware. It feels like BioWare is throwing in the towel just as it finally comes to grip with Frostbite, which had previously caused a number of headaches for the studio. Dang. So BioWare is moving off of Frostbite. Frostbite performance is also like pretty good. Like, I look at Battlefield 4 and I still think it looks fantastic for how old it is, being over 10 years old, and it runs like insanely well. That's like the best, one of the best examples. No way BioWare is moving. Oh my god, bro. What the fuck? I'm not trying to show these feet. Frostbite engine. Okay, geez. Woke me up in the morning here. Get some fucking gnarly ass Frostbite toes. Can show like a, I don't know, anything better. Okay, BioWare used an improved version of the Frostbite, a Frostbite for Dragon Age Veilguard. Okay, Frostbite is notorious for having well-publicized difficulties, including its complexity. This led to numerous reports of development issues surrounding Frostbite titles. A majority of these issues came from the engine's usage at BioWare. I mean, maybe it's just a BioWare problem, I don't know, which has criticized the engine for its aforementioned complexity, which made adapting common elements found in role-playing games to the engine rather difficult. Much of these criticisms stemmed from Electronic Arts pushing for the usage of Frostbite in as many titles as possible when the developers were already familiarized with a certain game engine, like the Eclipse engine for Dragon Age. However, in 2023, Electronic Arts announced that developers were now able to develop games on any engine. Oh, interesting. The Eclipse engine just goes to BioWare? Oh. The Eclipse engine succeeded the Odyssey engine, and among other things supports, okay. Okay, so Unreal Engine was for the original Mass Effect and the remastered. It confirmed all future game development by BioWare will be made using DICE's Frostbite. All of BioWare games since the confirmation were developed using Frostbite 3 as part of the general move towards unified technology foundation across all Electronic Arts. Okay, interesting. And now they can just use whatever they want, it seems like. Interesting. I find myself increasingly nervous about this industry trend away from in-house tools and largely towards Unreal Engine. The expertise and capacity that studios sacrifice to make the change will likely prove difficult to build back up should the bets not pay off. Yeah, I don't know about this though. I guess I feel like it's the opposite, whereas like Unreal Engine actually is the safe bet. This is all while Unreal Engine 5 has produced dubious results for gamers, and its future is seemingly tied to a large-scale project to change how games are made, sold, and experienced. I'm not sure. Like, the future is seemingly tied to a large-scale project to change. I don't know. Yeah, I agree with you there. Yeah, I don't know. This is interesting. I also think it's a shame since so much of CDPR's legend was built around the audacious generation leapfrogging graphics made possible by the Red Engine, so-called Slavic magic. That's funny. Beloved by gaming meme makers and at least one notable developer. But games are games, not engines, and we'll only know if the move was right once we finally get Polaris, Orion, and Hadar in our hands. The reasons to be excited: Tremblay also told Eurogamer that CDPR wants Polaris to be bigger, better, and more ambitious than the game that Witcher 3 or Cyberpunk 2077, and that it's being worked on by 400 of CDPR's 650 staff worldwide. Dang. Polaris is the Witcher game, right? Yeah, Witcher 4. Must be. And I mean, I remember Witcher 3 when it came, even though I haven't played Witcher 3, like the ambition was crazy like that. I mean, that game was, you know, insane, and so it's like it wants it to be even bigger than the previous one and Cyberpunk. Like, yeah, that is ambitious. What does this say? This is October 6th. Epic boss Tim Sweeney says Unreal Engine 6 will be a metaverse joining Fortnite and other Unreal games, including an upcoming persistent universe in development with Disney. What the fuck? How did I miss this? Oh, what is this? What? Epic has plans for the rest of the decade. Epic says, Tim Sweeney says Epic is now financially sound. Next up, building next generation of metaverse tools. No. I saw that The Verge added a subscription. Bro, are you kidding me? God damn it, bro. So many news outlets are adding paywalls. God damn it. I can't scroll now. Alright, whatever. But interesting. I mean, Tim Sweeney has some big ambitions. That's I'll have to read into this. This one, I wasn't surprised by this. New report claims gamers spend more time watching videos about gaming than playing games, because I haven't really been playing much games lately, but I still watch gaming videos. Like, it's, you know, it's a large portion of my like entertainment and like content consumption, especially Twitch. Like, I watch people play games. Like, I don't know, I have something going on in the background or whatever, like most of the day, but I don't play mini games now. So I don't know, this doesn't seem crazy, but I feel like to kind of like people who don't understand like streaming, like games and like game content, like don't really get it. Like, what are you just watching other people play? Like, just play yourself. Gamers are spending more time watching videos about gaming on YouTube and Twitch than playing games themselves. That's according to a new report by Media Research, which concluded that gamers typically spend 7.4 hours a week gaming and 8.5 hours a week watching game-related videos. Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, this doesn't seem out of the ordinary to me. shoot, I keep forgetting about. I'm streaming on YouTube Shorts. The content never aligns with the window. Is this report free or? Get full access, you have to pay for it. All right, let's read the synopsis. The research, which media claims highlights the untapped potential for game publishers to bring video game content inside their own ecosystems. Also claims that 24% of console PC players and 48% of in-game buyers watch game-related content at least monthly, with the latter considered high-spending gamers. That's interesting. They're saying to bring content into their own ecosystems. I could just imagine like fucking like boomer EA type of people like reading this and be like, okay, let's make our own content, and it's just like so cringe, so bad, it's like out of touch. And I'm trying to think of if has no one done this before? Definitely not Nintendo, because they hate, you can't even make videos on their content essentially. I'm exaggerating, but I don't know. Like I know I understand sponsoring, but I'm trying to think of like someone has their own like content ecosystem. The only one I could kind of think of is like some I feel like some like publishers and developers have like successful like YouTube channels, but it's more so like community engagement versus like content. Like I think of like Coffee Stain Studios, where they have a pretty active YouTube channel, and like they get pretty reasonable views, but it's like, for like updates on Satisfactory and stuff, and like I guess it's only Satisfactory. But I don't know. That's interesting. I mean, this doesn't seem like a new idea, I guess. So it's like, what? This means revenue is left on the table. Revenue is left on the table. Of course, that's what they see it as. This means revenue is left on the table, according to the report's author, with game publishers ceding significant revenue opportunities, especially advertising, to third-party video platforms, even as the game's market face growth challenges. Even as the game's market faces growth challenges. Yeah, I just think this is a bit of an out of touch take. I'm even thinking about like the more like normie type, like FIFA players or something like that. Like, I don't know. I think there's definitely, I don't know. I guess someone has to do it for us to really see. I just can't picture some AAA company making some media gaming company and it being successful. I just don't really see that. I could see them acquiring some sort of like channel platform, like Yogscast style, where they have like a bunch of YouTube channels and like things like that, and kind of just having them play games that they develop in a way. But even that, like that, I don't know, that just gets old. I don't know about this. Bringing video game content inside game ecosystems could also allow publishers to compete in another lane of the attention economy, the report states, unlocking new revenue streams in the process. It's time for publishers to think about in-game video on something beyond marketing alone, says Rhys Elliott, games analyst at Media Research. By reclaiming video engagement, publishers have the potential to unlock new revenue streams like advertising and drive growth. Yeah, I don't know about this one. I don't know about this one. Let's read their 20,000 foot view. This is the original report. Which, what else does Media Research do? All right, I mean, they're kind of broad. All right. Game publishers have long used third-party video platforms like Twitch and YouTube as a springboard to promote their games. Meanwhile, Twitch and YouTube get advertising and creator-driven revenues in return. The relationship has largely been reciprocal and beneficial for both parties. But games market revenues are facing growth challenges. With the attention economy saturated and time spent increasingly difficult to grow, it's time for game publishers to see creators as more than marketing. The user base of the largest game publisher and distributors are sizable enough to create their own game content platforms alongside Twitch and YouTube. This is what I was thinking. I was like, I wonder if they actually mean their own platform. And I was like, that would be some dumb executives like opinion where it's like they think that they could just like no one's ever thought of creating a YouTube or Twitch competitor and they could just like spin it up like, yeah, let's just do it. Like, how hard could it be? It's like, bro, like look at the graveyard of all the other, you know, platforms that have tried this. Like, it's nothing new, bro. Nothing new. The opportunity is all about yeah, that's crazy actually. That's so dumb. They don't, this is, I don't know about this. These first-party video platforms can't happen within individual games like Call of Duty or owned libraries of games across the Xbox ecosystem. The opportunity is all about publishers capturing video-related consumer engagement, generating new engagement, and most importantly, unlocking new revenue streams in a stagnant games market. This concept briefing report drives into how game publishers can reclaim engagement and revenues from third-party video platforms. I don't know. Gamers video content viewing behavior. Oh, this is just what's in it. Dang it, I really want it. Am I like blocking something when I click this? I don't know. Yeah, I don't know about this one. This one's interesting, but it did not go down the route that I thought it would. I thought it was going to be more about yeah, watching, but yeah, this is a boomer executive take in my opinion. No, like you just can't compete with YouTube. I don't know. At least not right now. At least not while it costs insane amounts of bandwidth dollars to run a video platform. Unless it's some sort of game where like an online service game with microtransactions that continuously creates revenue that you could use this video platform as a like loss leader where like you're losing money on that but you make much more back in the game itself via, you know, spend like the users watching it spending money in the game. That's really the only, that's essentially what kick.com is doing with, you know, Stake. You know, their kick.com doesn't really make money, but they make money, you know, by them advertising about gambling on the website and then people spending money on their gambling website. So it's like, that's realistically the only way that you'll be able to compete with Twitch and YouTube nowadays. And Twitch and YouTube, I think have questionable profitability. Definitely Twitch. And I want to say YouTube does, but I'm not confident on that. But yeah, it's interesting. All right. All right, be right back 1 second. I'm getting too hot. Waiting on a call from the DMV here, so I might dip out for a few minutes while I take that. All right. Well, let's take a look at take a look at this World AI. In the wrong. This is yeah. A Worldlabs AI, not World AI. Open LaCroix. Get a sip of coffee here. Okay. World Labs. How can I... I thought I had an article on this, but... So, yeah, it's essentially made by... Or it was... yeah, this... I'm just not gonna say the name right, but it's like Fei Li. She's a Stanford professor, and people call her the grandmother of AI. This is yeah, her company here. Looks like co-founded with Christopher Lasner and Justin Johnson. I'm not sure what they're known for, but I'm sure they're smart dudes. Hello World Labs. A spatial intelligence company building large world models to perceive, generate, and interact with 3D worlds. Now, this is interesting because last week or the week before, we took a look at Niantic Labs, the creator of Pokemon Go, who's also making a spatial intelligence kind of like their division of their company based off of data collected from Pokemon Go users. This, however, is taking pictures and creating 3D worlds out of just a 2D picture. So I imagine that if you were to upload just a 2D image of the real life, you could kind of turn it into, this perceived 3D environment. I don't know. Now, I just don't know. This kind of falls into a cool toy category, which I feel like quite a few other AI startups have been falling into, where it's a great they have a great technical demo. Decar AI, the Minecraft generated AI, I would consider in this category too, where they have a great technical demo and it's cool to play around with, and it's like awesome for maybe like personal use or like some sort of side project or just to play around with and mess around with, but there's not an actual product to sell. Like, they're not solving a problem that really needs to be solved, or there's like a market for it to solve. And I think we're kind of getting quite a few of these AI startup companies that are going down that route. I don't know how that will, like, the long term will be, or what the consequences will. Likely they'll just fizzle out, or just be a research type of company, not really make a product or kind of make money, I guess. But yeah, that's kind of what I'm getting from this. Also, their website just froze on me. Or just Brave just froze. Bro, this is the second time they've done it. Brave is frozen in the past like 2 days. Okay, I guess. Oh, we're back. Yeah, and Andreessen Horowitz. Mark Andreessen. Andreessen Horowitz backed them, so that's interesting. Mark Benioff, who's Salesforce CEO or co-CEO and founder. Reid Hoffman, LinkedIn founder. Andre Karpathy, I know this name, but I just can't know. I don't know what from what. Like he works at Tesla, AI researcher. Ashton Kutcher. Eric Schmidt, Google, ex-Google bro. It's like, oh, so Anne Wojcicki, and Susan Wojcicki. This is she passed away, but ex-YouTube CEO. Adobe Ventures, AMD Ventures, Databricks Ventures, N Ventures, which is NVIDIA, Salesforce Ventures, which is Mark Benioff up here, and Shrine Investments. So they have all of these jobs, but how are they gonna make money? Okay, let's check the careers just to see what they're hiring. Business operations, data engineer, product manager. I mean, the fact that they're hiring product managers makes me think that they're trying to make a product out of this. We'll take a look at it, and then I'll brainstorm more of how they could actually make money, because I like being creative and figuring out how they can make money because they're gonna need to make money. All right, so generating worlds. Today we're sharing our first step towards spatial intelligence, an AI system that generates 3D worlds from a single image. This lets you step into any image and explore it in 3D. Beyond an input image, all is generated. So yeah, you feed it this, then you can kind of walk around in it like this. Now, it's a bit misleading though, because there are very tight bounds. Think of like a video game. So, but we'll see. Most Gen AI tools make 2D content like images or videos. Generating in 3D instead improves control and consistency. This will change how we make movies, games, simulators, and other digital manifestations of our physical world. In this post, you'll explore generated worlds rendered live in your browser. You'll also experience different camera effects, 3D effects, and dive into classic paintings. Finally, you'll see how creators are already building with our models. All right. And this fits perfectly in the shorts. Right, actually, it's a little off. Yeah. Okay, so this is kind of like the Descartes AI argument where, not argument, but use case where it's it's entertainment. And I just think that there's not much, entertainment is kind of a low tier problem to be solving. Realistically, AI could help solve real human problems. And I just like to maybe see those be more front and center than entertainment. But who am I to say that someone what someone could work on or not? I also just think in terms of business, entertainment is I don't know. I just don't think it's the best right now. I just think it's early. The tech is still being figured out, especially for Gen AI. Yeah, I don't know. I have mixed feelings on AI and entertainment right now, because I just don't think the business is really there yet. But I guess that shouldn't be a reason to not pursue this. Yeah, I don't know. I guess I just don't really see what problem it's solving. That's really what it comes down to. I just don't see what problem this is solving. And maybe reading this throughout my mind will be changed. But yeah, let's just take a look. All right, it's your turn to explore some worlds. Below, we showed 3D worlds generated from fantastical images. and everyday photos. Use arrow keys or WSD to move, and click and drag with your mouse to look around. These are all AI generated with, there's like a disclaimer at the bottom, I think. Okay, so you can move. Okay, so, let's just, okay, so this is where it starts out. So this is the image. And like when you go, boom, you hit the, you can't go that far. It says out of bounds, it flashes right here. But when you turn around, mind you, behind us is not the original image. This is all generated. Like, it's like that, I was expecting it to be town behind me, not a forest. And that's even different than what is actually up here. I just realized. That's interesting. And yeah, we can't really go that far. I mean, the bounds are very tight. But I guess is, you know, it's early on, it's tech demo, and it's still impressive. Like the fact that like, oops, the fact that like how this looks 3D like this is, you know, it's impressive. Let's look at all the other ones. This one looks like a paper diorama or something. Thing. This one's cool. You can definitely tell it's AI generated. The behind picture actually looks a lot better in this one. Interesting. Actually, wait, I'm gonna go back, and if I turn around, okay, it's the same. I was like, I wonder if it'd be different. This one's kind of ominous. Sci-fi vibes, or like Lorax, Dr. Seuss. Interesting. Now it seems like it's something like I wonder what the techniques they'll use, and I think they get into it more. Oh, actually, I didn't see these. So this looks like a real photo, like someone you uploaded. This is like a museum. They're just, yeah. Are these generated or is these real? I don't even know. Like, yeah, this looks AI generated now that I think about it, or like now I look closer. This looks like Yosemite or something. Yeah, it's interesting. Sounds weird. It's like I'm floating. Interesting. All right. Camera effects. Once a scene is generated, it is rendered live in the browser using a virtual camera. Precise control over this camera enables artistic photographic effects. We can simulate a shallow depth of field where only the objects at a certain distance from the camera are in focus. I see. Interesting. So like, yeah, it's interesting that they're essentially just using like camera tricks like this to make it feel 3D. But I don't know, this like breaks the illusion a little bit. But I guess it's just kind of showing how you could change the perspective like this. But I don't know. I guess this one definitely looks 3D with this, like this castle over here and the sides. It looks like a diorama or something, like got the tilt shift effect. We can also simulate a dolly zoom, which adjusts the camera's position and field of view at the same time. So this is making them seem further away, I guess. Like this would just be a cool effect, I guess, but yeah, I don't know. I guess that's kind of it. This one's ominous too. I don't know if this makes them seem farther away. It just looks like the room is bigger. All right. 3D effects. Most generative models predict pixels. Predicting a 3D scene instead has many benefits. So it seems like that they're kind of saying that when you generate an image, using techniques to generate it in 3D and then maybe outputting a 2D image makes better images. Persistent reality. Once a world is generated, it's there to stay. The scene won't change behind your back if you look away and come back. That's a hit at Descartes AI right here, because in the Minecraft, like if you look one way and then you turn around and then you turn back around, it's going to be something else generated because it's predicting what pixel to come next, and you know, as you move, it's going to change its prediction, even though it's already predicted about what comes behind it. Real-time control. After generating a scene, you can move around in it real time. You can linger on the details of a flower or peek around the corner to see what is revealed. Correct geometry. Our generated worlds obey basic physical rules of 3D geometry. They have a sense of solidity and a depth that contrasts with the dreamlike nature of some AI-generated video. Simplest way to visualize a 3D scene is a depth map, where each pixel is colored by its distance from the camera. Distance to the camera. So, color, depth. Interesting. Oh, we could move around. Hmm. We can use the 3D scene structure to build into interactive effects. Click on the scene to interact with it. Okay. Sonar. That's cool. I see. It's like mapped in 3D, so the effects are kind of interacting with the environment, it seems like. I mean, this one isn't working too good, unless it wants you to to be brighter and darker for further away. Ripple. Interesting. I mean, yeah, it's like this is all cool, but it's like, yeah, it just seems like a cool tech demo. You can also build effects that passively animate the scene. Okay. Rustle. I don't know what this means. Color wave. Okay. Step into paintings. World generation allows you to experience iconic pieces of art in new ways. We generated worlds from our favorite pieces by Van Gogh, Hopper, Seurat, and Kandinsky. Anything not in the original painting was generated by our model. All right. This one, I mean, I recognize the best, but yeah, but that's the point, I guess. Let's like, okay, so cool. Yeah, but then let's turn around. It's like, oh. Like, that's not what I, like, this looks like modern day. And like, this is like, you know, also you expect the red glow from this to be like reflected in this. But I'm just kind of being extra critical. But yeah, I guess cool. This is interesting because it's like very stylized. And the buildings kind of in a way are also too. All right, creative workflows. 3D world generation naturally composes with other AI tools. This allows creators to work with tools they already know to enable new experiences. For example, we can create worlds from text by first generating an image using a text-to-image model. Different models have their own style, which our worlds can inherit. Yeah. Here we generate 4 variants of the same scene using different text-to-image models, all using the same prompt. A vibrant cartoon-style teenager bedroom with bed covered. Yeah, right here. This is the prompt. Yeah, but when you turn around, it's like it just doesn't match. This just doesn't really match. Is that what I just did? Yeah. This one's better. This one's not the best. I mean, this image just in general isn't even that good. Okay, I was not expecting that. Like, I don't know. This, like, to me, just doesn't. It's like not the best. Like, but what? I don't know what problem is it solving. I guess. I thought that. I mean, it seemed like that they were creating new ways of generating images, starting with 3D, then transforming it to 2D. That's kind of what I thought it was starting out. We've given a few creators an early sneak peek at our technology to begin experimenting with the possibility enabled by a 3D native generative AI workflow. Eric Solorio shows how our models fill a gap in its creative workflow, making it easy to stage characters within scenes and direct precise camera movements. Okay, let's watch. I'm gonna watch at least one of these because I'm genuinely curious to like how this actually what this actually does. Browsing full. Okay, so then is just the demo limiting us from walking forward? Because like that right there just seemed way like they walked further than like what you can in the demo. So they're taking a uh so they're like framing the image in world, what's this thing called? Worldlabs.ai, and then uh screenshotting it and feeding into a image generator to kind of create the style in the actual like creative workflow that they're doing. So like I've never heard of automatic 1111. I'm gonna write it down. Automatic 1111. Okay, but like what we're talking here is no way World Labs AI is making money from this. Like the amount of compute, like you're essentially trading time for compute power. Well, time is the most valuable resource. Compute power, especially GPU compute power, is pretty valuable right now too. Um, is that really, is this workflow worth all of that? I don't know. All right, interesting. Brittany Natali lays out carefully crafted camera paths through our generated worlds to evoke different moods across 3 short films using a workflow combining World Labs technology with tools like Midjourney, Runway, Suno, 11 Labs, Blender, and CapCut. I don't know if I want to watch this one, but okay. But okay, let's continue. Looking ahead, the results are our first early preview of generating 3D worlds. We are hard at work improving the size and fidelity of our generated worlds and experimenting with new ways for users to interact with them. Keep up with our future releases via our waitlist or get in touch. Yeah, this is cool, but I just don't know how big the market is for things like this, and especially the cost to like what they could sell it for too. Like I just don't know how big that market is. I'll add myself to the wait list here. Um so yeah, so this is cool, but yeah, it's definitely just a tech demo. I don't know. And it's impressive that they are able to do this, but making it into an actual product is going to be something completely different and different challenges. So I'm optimistic, but um yeah, I'm just curious what those will look like in the future. Same with Descartes AI. I wonder what is Descartes because these guys are competing in just with different strategies in a way. No, they haven't released anything new. But yeah, so that's cool. Um, let's read this article and then we'll jump into some of the privacy news I said because those is kind of quick, I guess. All right, this is this website though, I'm pretty sure is state ran. It's like state ran Chinese media. South China Morning, what's it called? Or uh CMP. Wanna yeah, South China Morning Post. As Hong Kong's English language newspaper of record. I swear that they're like state ran or something, but Malaysian real estate tycoon was owned by Rupert Murdoch. Alibaba Group acquired the media properties in January 2017. Former Dig CEO. What, bro? What? Former Dig CEO Gary Liu became the South China Morning Post chief executive officer. In 2016, concerns have raised about the newspaper's editorial independence and self-censorship. Critics, yeah, okay, right. That's what I was wondering, because like I feel like I've read this elsewhere. And it's crazy that the former Dig CEO. Oh, he's not there anymore. Is Dig still around? Human-centric blockchain. He's full in on Web3 shit. What is Dig? Or like, what is Dig like, dude, still? Is it still the same thing? Nine tropes that are making movies insufferable. About waxers think about your junk. So where, or like, who, like, how do they write this stuff themselves on Dig? This is such a side tangent, but or do they just like collate things? I thought Dig was like Reddit. The website's definitely changed from when I don't know, I don't even know when the last time I went on here. No, I want to read the bottom. You can tell how good they're doing by how much it costs to advertise. Product pitches. It seems like BuzzFeed now. Like, that's just what it seems like. Like this, I saw this somewhere else. This is crazy. Well, poor millennials, we're just like, we'll take anything, master. We'll take the scraps. And then boomers just are out of touch, so. Actual average. Sad truth. Okay. It's a huge side tangent, but important to note that the editorial bias potentially of the article we're reading, even though it's, I don't know where the study comes from, but yeah. Anyways, it's interesting. So China's generative AI users reach 230 million as startups, big tech roll out LLM services. Now, it's important to note that in August, ChatGPT, OpenAI announced that ChatGPT, or let me just look it up. So I just active users. Yeah, ChatGPT now has more than 200 million weekly active users, and that was the end of August. Based on October 2024 data, From SEMrush, which is like a SEO kind of website, ChatGPT attracts 393 million visitors each month. Yeah, let's just say over 200 million. We'll go with that. So, yeah, China's generative AI users reached 230 million as startups, big tech roll LLM services. Yeah, and it's important to note that ChatGPT has around at least 200 million monthly active users, weekly active users. 200 million, and this is, yeah, end of August. So almost, 230 million people in China are using generative AI, whereas ChatGPT alone has 200 million, at least 200 million active users. So that's interesting. Chinese tech giant Baidu's Ernie bot is the most frequently used GenAI products by domestic users with an 11.5% share. The number of generative artificial intelligence users in China, the number of GenAI users in China reached 230 million at the end of June as a crop of startups and big tech firms rushed to offer their large language model services, according to government data. That means around 1 in every 6 users in the world's biggest internet market are using a GenAI product, according to a report released on Saturday by the China International Network Information Center, a state-run agency. Okay, so I guess take it with a grain of salt. I don't know how trustworthy they are. Chinese tech giant Baidu's Ernie bot, known as Wexayawan in Chinese, is the most frequently used GenAI product by domestic users with an 11.5% share, according to the China Internet Network Information Center report. It was followed by OpenAI's ChatGPT and Google's Gemini with 7% and 3.8% share respectively, although the two US services are not officially available in mainland China. Bro, that's crazy. So Baidu's Ernie bot, which is Baidu is a Chinese company, is coming in at number 1 with 11.5% share of China's use of generative AI tools. ChatGPT and Google Gemini, which aren't even available in mainland China, come in at the 2nd and 3rd spot. Combined, have almost as much as Baidu's Ernie bot. You got about 10.8%. It looks like combined. That's interesting, because there's also ones like DeepSeek, which is Chinese, but it's made by like a more research kind of investment firm. But I mean, yeah, that's interesting that the two American products are number 2 and 3. GenAI refers to algorithms that can be used to create new content, including audio, code, images, text, simulations, and videos. LLMs are technology behind GenAI services like ChatGPT. Oh, my camera froze? God damn it. Yeah, we're good. All right, we're gonna do another take on that other one. So. Chinese tech giant Baidu's Ernie bot, known as this in Chinese, is the most frequently used GenAI product by domestic users with an 11.5% share, according to the China Internet Network Information Center report. It was followed by OpenAI's ChatGPT and Google's Gemini with 7% and 3.8% shares respectively, although the two US services are not officially available in mainland China. Yeah, so that's crazy that the two probably largest Western generative AI products are used combined a total of almost, China's own most popular generative AI, ChatGPT competitor, and the two Western ones aren't even available in mainland China officially. So yeah, that's interesting. And then there's also considered DeepSeek, which I know is another large Chinese one that recently released kind of a competitor to OpenAI's O1 that has reasoning and thinking. And I mean, I don't even see that. I mean, they didn't list it, but maybe it will going down. So nearly 2/3 of GenAI users on the mainland employ LLM services to answer questions, while 1/3 rely on them as working assistants to generate meeting transcripts and slides, the report showed. As of November, more than 309 GenAI products had registered their LLMs with the Chinese internet regulator, with Beijing accounting for 96 and Shanghai 84, according to the report. Interesting. Beijing being the, largest. I think it's the largest city in China. Among the registered services, over 190 received approval and made their services commercially available to the public as of July this year. According to the data from Internet Watchdog Cyberspace Administration of China, cited in the SNNIC report. The GenAI user numbers in China highlight the expanding adoption of LLMs in the world's second largest economy, as domestic companies race to close the gap with the US after OpenAI set off a global frenzy. Yeah, with ChatGPT released in 2022. All major big tech firms in China have launched their own LLMs for consumers as well as enterprise uses, while the rise of startups, including the four so-called AI, quote, tigers, I've never heard this, Baichuan, Zippu AI, Moonshot AI, and Minimax, is drawing increasing attention from users and investors. Never heard of these guys. Moonshot, I think. AI wizardry will automatically analyze, plan, and execute your store's conversion optimization process. Interesting. Chinese AI companies face common hardware restrictions as Washington has applied curbs on U.S. suppliers such as NVIDIA selling advanced graphic processing units to China. Yeah. What could the comments possibly be on here? Yeah, so I just think it's interesting that, while we're scared of China, getting ahead of us in AI, most, users are actually using Western AI products. Now, I don't know if this is some psyop or something that China wants people to think, one way or the other, so I think take it with a grain of salt, but the numbers are not even that close, I guess, 11.5%, and then ChatGPT's 7%, but combined, it's just as much as the Baidu's Ernie bot. Yeah, this is interesting. Wanted to highlight it. Quick highlight. Okay, let's get into some good old data privacy stuff. I haven't really talked about data privacy stuff on the stream here. Much lately. We have two stories. Go start with 404. But they're related. FTC bans location data company that powers a surveillance ecosystem. Now, I'm sure they'll explain it here, but essentially, the government, like the FBI and other investigative agencies like that, can skirt around warrants and things by just buying data from data brokers, because they have so much, and they have so much personal and sensitive data that they can kind of skirt around that. That should not be the case. That's not cool. This seems like it's something it's related to these data brokers who kind of the FBI, law enforcement agencies behind the scenes would use to get this data. They might be gone. So yeah, let's continue. The Federal Trade Commission, FTC, announced sweeping action against some of the most important companies in the location data industry on Tuesday, including those that power surveillance tools used by widespread of U.S. law enforcement agencies, in demanding they delete data related to certain sensitive areas like health clinics and places of worship. Yeah, I mean, because, an adversary, and I say an adversary is some crazy dude who, like, I don't know, hates abortion or like hates people practicing a religion, could use, and I'm saying dude, but just a person could use and purchase data on other people to kind of use them as like to stalk them or to go to like find out information, like dox them essentially about their life or personal life, so that they could like go to a location that they usually go to, and I don't know, do something dumb like cause them harm or whatever it may be. That is crazy, like, honestly, and that's like the most American thing. Like, it's like, do you want to monetize every single thing that we're kind of monetizing the use of, like, we're monetizing doxing and like unveiling personal information because there's a market for it. Like, I don't know, that's kind of crazy. Ventel, through the parent company Gravy Analytics, takes location data from smartphones either through ordinary apps installed on them or through the advertising ecosystem, and then provides that data feed to other companies who sell location tracking technology to the government, or sells the data directly itself. Directly as in, like, any Joe Schmo could go and buy that data. Ventel is a company that provides the underlying data for a variety of other government contractors and surveillance tools, including LocateX. 44 Media and a group of other journalists recently revealed LocateX could be used to pinpoint phones that visited abortion clinics. Yeah, and this is why it's a problem. And, whether you support abortion or not, the problem is using your views. Is one state taking your views as criminal, and the other, state not doing that, and so you may be a criminal in one state but not the other, just based off of something you believe in or voted for or whatever. And that that in itself is a problem, but it could then be used by bad people to do dumb shit. The FTC says in a proposed order that Gravy and Ventel will be banned from selling, disclosing, or using sensitive location data except in, quote, limited circumstances involving national security or law enforcement. Yeah, I mean, I'll keep reading. I'll share an opinion on that in a sec. Sensitive location includes medical facilities, religious organizations, correctional facilities, labor union offices, schools and childcare facilities, domestic abuse and homeless support centers, shelters or refugee or immigrant populations, and military installations. The FTC also demands that the companies delete all historic location data. So I guess this is interesting because it's like, limited circumstances involving national security, law enforcement. So it's like, again, this is very subjective, especially with law enforcement, because the police have a lot of power in that they could have the power to kill, detain freedom, etc. And all it takes is some, which we've seen before, plenty of times before, where some cop just has some grudge. They use their power in a way that, they shouldn't have, and people get hurt as a result of it. This is no different. Like, some cop could go to some, some abusive, a cop is like abusive towards their spouse or husband. They could use this against them, kind of in a manipulative way to get information that they shouldn't have otherwise had. I don't know. I guess this just doesn't seem like give any like reassurance to me. Just be like, okay, cool. Like now only cops could just do it. Like, great. The move is significant in that it targets a crucial player in the broader location data industry, but also in that it could have an impact on the surveillance of Americans by American agencies. And also, I do wonder if this will actually go through before Trump, or if this could be changed by Trump, because Trump wants surveillance. He wants to surveil, the American population. He does not like, our court system that kind of prevents anyone in the government from spying on people. I think it's like FISA and things like that. He doesn't like that because he just wants to have whatever power, he thinks he should have, and doesn't want to go through the proper steps to provide a checks and balances to make sure that you're not overstepping your power. He wants full surveillance, so this is not something that seems like he would be favorable towards having. Yeah. Surreptitious surveillance by data brokers undermines our civil liberties and puts service members, union workers, religious minorities, and others at risk. Samuel Levine, director of the FTC's Bureau of Consumer Protection. I wonder if that's, this is the Consumer Financial Protection Bureau. Said in the announcement, this is the FTC's fourth action taken this year challenging the sale of sensitive location data, and it's past time for the industry to get serious about protecting Americans' privacy. Yes. In October, independent researcher Jack Paulson reported that the FTC opened an investigation into Ventel. That's good that they actually followed through. In 2020, I and journalists from Norwegian media organization NRK revealed how Ventel sourced its data at the time. It used ordinary apps installed on people's smartphones, including innocuous-looking weather or navigation apps. Yeah, and fortunately, this is what Apple did by having that pop-up asking apps not to track. These companies would essentially just have like a flashlight app or a weather app or a navigation app that looks like it's just providing a good utility, and it probably just sits on your phone most of the time when you don't actually use it, but behind the scenes is actually collecting all of this sensitive data that you don't actually know because they don't really tell you, and it's just like buried in terms and conditions, or it's not obvious about what it does. These apps collected their user location data and then provided that to other middlemen companies. Those firms then provided data to Gravy, which sells location data products for marketers. Gravy also owns Ventel, which then sells location data to U.S. law enforcement agencies. The IRS, DEA, and FBI have all purchased Ventel data, so have Customs and Border Protections and Immigrations and Customs Enforcement. And this is very relevant because if Trump really wants to do some sort of mass deportation, and he really wants to, utilize all resources, he's going to have to spy on Americans to understand, where these things are coming from. And, it's going to be done by the DEA, the, ICE, FBI, and that's not cool. That's really not cool. Spying on Americans just to, pick out people who are, contributing just as much as every other American. It's not cool. Ventel has also provided the data for other location tracking products which the government buys, including Babbel Street's Locate X, according to an internal Department of Homeland Security document obtained by 404 Media. Ventel also appears to provide the data to Fog Data Science, a company that sells similar monitoring products to local law enforcement, according to emails obtained by the Electronic Frontier Foundation. In its announcement, the FTC said that Gravy and Ventel violated the FTC Act by unfairly selling sensitive consumer location data and by collecting and using consumers' location data without obtaining verifiable user consent for commercial and government uses. Gravy continued to use consumers' location data even after learning that the consumers did not provide informed consent. The FTC says that's crazy, bro. They should just right there alone, okay, so what are you gonna, how are we gonna punish them? Gravy Analytics also unfairly sold sensitive characteristics like health or medical decisions, political activities, and religious viewpoints derived from consumers' location data, the agency adds. That's insane. According to the FCC, Gravy and Ventel collected more than 17 billion signals from around a billion mobile devices daily. That's insane. The FTC also announced actions against Mobile Walla, another location data company. In June 2020, BuzzFeed News reported that Mobile Walla monitored phones at Black Lives Matter protests. The following month, 10 lawmakers urged the FTC to investigate Mobile Walla. Yeah, and I think the idea is that, this is the idea is, you are granted some sort of freedom here in the United States, and, maybe an illusion of freedom, but if you don't consent or you don't actually know things like, you know, you're being tracked about what you do and it's being sold that could be used against you, like that is a massive violation of, you know, kind of your freedom. Like, and it being buried on the terms and conditions is not a good excuse, because, you know, businesses and, you know, large corporations, I feel like almost create a culture around having it be hard to decipher what terms and conditions actually are, and it being buried extremely long, unrealistic for you to actually read, to, you know, use Google Docs, or to, you know, sign into your phone, to use your phone. Like, these things are arguably necessary to, you know, go about your everyday life. And if you can't, you know, use these tools without understanding, you know, or the company clearly stating what they're doing or what they're using your data for, that is not cool. That should be a violation of some sort of constitution, like the Constitution, like a you know, some sort of amendment. You know, I think it's like the 14th or something, the your right to privacy. I think it's something similar, you know, out of that. Anyways, I'm glad that the FTC acted on my request to protect the data of U.S. military personnel stationed around the world. That's okay. Who said this? That was an absurd limitation in the FTC's prior order, and the chair and her staff should be commended for protecting the location data of our men and women in uniform, Senator Ron Wyden told 404 Media in a statement. Okay, bro, but like, what about everyone else? You know, it's like, okay, like, yes, I agree. You know, the military shouldn't. You know, you already have a target on your back for being in the military, but, you know, having this other one is not good. But I mean, all other citizens should get equal treatment. You know, we have the same right to freedom. Notably, the action against Mobile bans it from collecting consumer data from online advertising auctions for purpose other than participating in those auctions. That refers to the real-time bidding process, where instead of getting data from apps directly, companies source it by observing the advertising bidding process. This is the first time the agency has alleged such a practice was unfair or an unfair act or practice, the announcement reads. Instead of getting data directly, companies source it by observing the advertising bidding process. That's crazy. An email to the press inquiries addressed for Unicast, which merged with Gravy last year, were undelivered. Wow. So that means that, like, it's not even set up. Dang, that's crazy. Crazy. All right. Yeah. So this is good. This is definitely good. Hopefully, you know, leading more towards a federal data protection, you know, some sort of federal privacy or data protection app for consumers. And I think this is in a similar vein, and hopefully down the same route. Data brokers may be banned from selling your social security number, which, crazy that they could just sell it anyways. Like, honestly, crazy that such sensitive information could be sold. Consumer Financial Protection Bureau wants to rein in the sale of American sensitive personal and financial information. By the way, Mark Andreessen, yes, they hate the CFPB because they said that it exists to punish business members, essentially, in that Elizabeth Warren uses it as like her own puppet, like, you know, kind of like to do whatever she wants. It was proposed in 2011 by Elizabeth Warren while she was a law professor. Though its existence, the Bureau has been persistently targeted by Republican politicians in the financial industry. It is one of the agencies that Project 2025 advocates that Congress should cut. The CFPB's status as an independent agency has been subject to many challenges in court. In June 2020, the United States Supreme Court ruled that the president can remove the director without cause, but allowed the agency to remain in operation. That's interesting. Its budget isn't even that big, though, let's be honest. CFPB qualifies as a large independent agency that was designed to consolidate its employees and responsibilities from a number of other federal regulating bodies, including Federal Reserve, Federal Trade Commission. Yeah. and even the Department of Housing and Urban Development. The Bureau has an independent unit located inside and funded by the United States Federal Reserve with interim affiliation with the U.S. Treasury Department. That makes it seem like it's going to be harder to get rid of if the Federal Reserve has its own independent unit. CFPB writes and enforces rules for financial institutions, examines both banks and non-bank financial institutions, monitors and report on markets, as well as collect and track consumer complaints. Go to controversies. House Republic, or in 2014, some employees alleged culture of racism and sexism at the agency. I mean, if the FDIC is anything to learn from, then yeah, I believe that. Former employees testified they were retaliated against for bringing problems to the attention of superiors. Nice. House Republicans criticized the methodology of the CFPB uses to identify instances of racial discrimination among auto lenders. Well, how specific? Because of legal constraints, the agency used a system to guess the race of auto loan applicants based on their last name and listed address. Oh god, bro, I can just see how that's a mess. Based on that information, the agency charged several lenders were discriminating against minority applicants and levied large fines and settlements against those companies. Ally Financial paid $98 million in fines and settled fees for 2013. Means that only can guess who may be victims of discrimination. That does not seem like a good basis for charging large fees, I guess. In 2018, Donald Trump signed into law congressional legislation repealing the enforcement of automobiles lending rules, trying into law the economic exempting dozens of banks from CFPB's regulations. Nice. That's so crazy, bro. That's so crazy. But I mean, if whatever it does could just be grouped in, like lumped into another agency, and that funding could be transferred, then I mean, yeah. In 2024, the Bureau limited credit card late fees to $8. The rule was blocked by a judge, but the reason given for the block was overturned by the Supreme Court, giving the Bureau confidence that the rule will be implemented. I mean, that seems like something good. Anyways, yeah, so I don't know. Republicans hate the Consumer Financial Protection Bureau. In the wake of high-profile hacks affecting hundreds of millions of Americans, the Consumer Financial Protection Bureau is proposing a rule limiting data brokers' ability to sell Americans sensitive personal and financial information. Under the proposed rule, data brokers that sell information about consumers' income, credit history, credit score, or debt payments would be considered consumer reporting agencies. As such, they'd be required to comply with the Fair Credit Reporting Act, a law limiting how these agencies can obtain and use information provided in consumer reports, and in other words, they'd be treated like credit bureaus and background check companies, which already have to comply with the Fair Credit Reporting Act. During a Monday press call, CFPB Director Rohit Chopra referenced the massive national public data breach earlier this year that leaked more than 200 million social security numbers that were offered for sale on the dark web. These aren't just isolated incidents, they represent a systematic vulnerability in how our personal data is bought and sold, Chopra said. Yeah, but this goes beyond, like, this is, like, social security numbers are kind of like, you know, like, I don't know how he would change the system, but I feel like there could be a better way of having like a universal ID number. Here. Foreign countries have gone to great lengths to obtain that data, as federal prosecutors allege that 4 members of Chinese military carried out the 2017 Equifax breach, similar to the Office of Personnel Management breach a few years earlier. Still, our adversaries don't need to hack anything to get Americans' most sensitive data. Chopra said on the press call, data brokers, the outfits that collect and sell detailed information about our personal and financial lives, are making this data available to anyone willing to pay the price, Chopra said. Yeah. By selling our most sensitive by selling our most sensitive personal data without our knowledge or consent, data brokers can profit by enabling scamming, stalking, and spying, said Chopra. Yeah, and this is the same argument as we were just talking before. It's like, yeah, it's scamming I didn't even think of, but like scamming's another one. It's like, yeah, you could, get personal information and use that against them, or use that as a way to like prove that you're some entity that you're not. I think that's definitely a thing. And stalking and spying, yeah. In addition to requiring data brokers to comply with FCRA, the new rule would require consumers to provide clear consent for data sharing. Yeah, I mean, it's crazy that this is even like a conversation. Like, this just seems like it should just be normal. Like, it just shouldn't be like such a politicized thing. It's just like, yeah, like if you're gonna sell my data, like give me the option to maybe say no. I don't know. It doesn't seem too like radical. Data brokers would be required to get explicit permission to sell a consumer sensitive personal or financial information. Yeah, not fucking checks. I hope that this isn't just, make it unreadable, hidden in the terms and conditions. It's like, hey, do you want us to sell your data? And it's like, yes or no. The regulation is targeting private companies, not government operations. During a Monday press call, a Consumer Financial Protection Bureau spokesperson said the agency is requesting comment on how to ensure government agencies continue to have appropriate access to this information. The CFPB, while accepting comments on the proposed rule until March 23rd, 2025, but it's possible that Trump and his allies, who are reportedly looking at ways to rein in the agency's powers, will defang CFPB before then. Yeah, and honestly, I could see the Consumer Financial Protection Bureau being like chopped off now, like just however much, like just for how much that they hate it, The CFPB is putting up points for Americans' privacy right down to the buzzer by acting on my 2021 request to close a key loophole that enables sleazy data brokers to sell Americans' personal data to criminals, stalkers, and foreign spies, says Senator Ron Wyden. He's the one who actually commented in the other one about the U.S. troops. It's not selling their information. Unfortunately, it will be up to Trump's CFPB to finalize this proposed rule, and he and his billionaire donors are intent on shutting down this agency to take away a key advocate for American consumers. During the Monday press call, a CFPB spokesperson declined to comment on what a future administration may do, but pointed to broad bipartisan recognition that data brokers pose real dangers both to Americans' privacy and to national security. But some government agencies, including Immigration and Customs Enforcement, ICE, and the FBI, also rely on data brokers to get around surveillance restrictions. And I think the latter part, ICE and the FBI getting around surveillance restrictions, is more important to like Republicans and Trump, just with their authoritarian, their more authoritarian lean and view from that, in that perspective. So yeah, I actually don't think that. Yeah, I don't know actually. I want to say no, that I just don't have faith in in the fact that the CFPB may even just be gone in the next year, but also that it's enough of an issue for Trump to care and pass some legislation like this. I don't know. Don't know. So interesting. Yeah, I mean, this seems like a no-brainer, but I guess there's a lot of politics involved. I guess I don't know. I think we should have some equivalent of GDPR that EU has. We should have some sort of federal data protection, privacy, whatever act legislation. California, we have the California Consumer Privacy Act, CCPA, which allows us access to all the data that people have on us. We could request to delete it whenever we want, etc. That is, I want that for my fellow states and other fellow citizens. I want them to have the same the same opportunities for managing and having control over our data, just like we do here. Yeah. Yep. People can sell stolen goods in the open on Amazon. Why can't they sell stolen personal information? Yeah, exactly. This is like the crazy, you know, like, and yeah, this is like, this just shouldn't be that crazy of a take, but like it kind of is. I don't know, like, and I know it's kind of just like, yeah, I'm sure there's some capitalistic like theory or economic theory, but like if there's a market for it, just because there's a market for it doesn't necessarily mean it should exist. Yeah, I don't know. But that's all I have planned for today. Actually, we actually went through everything I had planned. About 2 hours, was it? Yeah, I thought it'd be a longer stream, but we're zooming. I think it's just I don't. A lot of the articles I had today are pretty short. I just want to talk about today. I just want to talk about this stuff. That's really why. But yeah, probably gonna end it here because I'm actually expecting a call from the DMV. Hopefully soon. Jesus, hopefully soon. Oh my gosh, hopefully soon. I need this call. And yeah, we'll be back tomorrow. 9 a.m. seems to be a good time for me. So far, it's definitely making me wake up a little later, even though I want to wake up earlier. But yeah, 9 a.m. seems to be a good time. So yeah, I need I'm gonna wait to update all my stuff to say 9 a.m. though, because I still want to beta test it a little more. But yeah, so 9 a.m. tomorrow, we'll be back covering some tech news. Yeah, I might take a look at another startup. I kind of like taking a look at startup like Worldlabs.ai. I like looking at stuff like that. Cool. Thanks for tuning in, Will. But yeah, so 9 a.m. tomorrow. We'll be back. We're ending. Appreciate you showing up. Appreciate you showing up.